Hello there, my name is Valerie White Williams, and today I'm doing another reaction video, and this time I'm back to reacting to Angelina Jordan in that great summer concert last year, and she is singing a classic, Fly Me to the Moon. All right, so let's have a listen.
The moon. You guys ready? That's the most important. You guys ready? Yeah. Louder. Yeah. Yay! That's what I'm talking about. Okay.
Maybe it's her first song.
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see things like Jupiter and Mars and other worlds. Hold my hand and other words. Darling, kiss me.
Interesting. I actually love singing this one too. It's so iconic for Frank Sinatra. Fly me to the moon. You know, so he did it in a very swing version. We call that the swing. And she's doing it with a very subtle kind of almost like a bossa nova. Fly me to the moon. A little bit of a Latin vibe there. Her rhythm section is so amazing. And I like to sing this one too. And of course, I'm not going to, Frank's the Frank version, but I like to slow down too. It's got this little vibe. So I was really curious to see what she would do with it, and great choice.
Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore.
So that's that do da 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 but da 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 but da 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 da. So that's kind of the groove, that kind of bossa nova groove. It's not like a authentic bossa nova, but there's a Latin vibe to it because basically the swing has that do guddy 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 guddy. And the bossa nova is more what we call straight eighth notes. Boo, da, 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 which is great. I love bossa nova. In fact, there's a huge trend on Spotify of artists taking pop songs and putting bossa nova grooves with them. And I think it's really cool. So let's keep going.
All I long, in all I worship and adore. And other words, please be true. And other words, I love you.
I'm just going to stop right there because this song has an interesting song form. It's not the typical, because it's basically has one beginning part and then the end part. And it actually does some interesting things because typically jazz songs are like AABA, or, you know, pop songs tend to be chorus, verse, chorus, maybe a bridge. And so I noticed that because it's really hard to come in the form, and traditionally this is pretty much the most jazz traditional jazz that I've seen her do in this concert. And that's usually what happens is when she sang through what we call the form or the head. That's what jazz musicians call it. And then the guitarist is playing on the first half of the head. And it's hard to really find your spot. And I could tell that she was kind of like, because I've been there, done that on stage, and you kind of almost have to sing in your mind when you're going to get back in, because that's typically, there's a solo and then the singer comes back in, and it's tricky. And this song is tricky because it's the form is a little irregular. But, of course, Angelina's a pro. She's so awesome, and it's the perfect choice of putting this together with this little bit of a Latin vibe.
You are all I know, I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other I love you. Thank you so much.
All right, that was really fun to see. It seemed like that might be the opening because she was kind of getting kind of started. And of this concert, that was actually the only really traditional jazz that I've seen. There may be more, so don't quote me on that. But it was interesting to see how she negotiated that. Of course, the rhythm sections were great. Couldn't really see the keyboard player with the screen. And of course, it was kind of a jiggly screen. But it was really a nice arrangement because it really had that smooth version, because no one really wants to copy Frank unless you're trying to. And I think the girl versions are better. So for her, I would say, because I like to go fly me to the moon. Now that's swing. Fly me to the moon would be a bit of the bossa groove that feels like that. And again, the form is kind of hard. Now, the other thing that I wasn't able to talk about is that the end, she actually did the traditional, what we call tag ending. Like, in other words, please be true. In other words, so you repeat that 3 times. In other words, please be true. In other words, in other words, I'll be you. I can't remember the words exactly like that, but I've sung it. It's just, I'd have to refresh the lyrics, just saying. So that was actually pretty much what we call straight ahead jazz, because we have different forms in jazz. We have a lot of Latin jazz, which is kind of what they did, versus swing jazz. And then R&B, where she does quite a lot, she's kind of mixing it all up just a bit, has a different kind of more of a, not a swing beat, but more a so straight 8th notes. So it's all about the groove behind the beats. And of course, Angelina just kind of uses her voice throughout everything. She's got really great ears. And I wish I could have been to that concert. I would love to be there. And of course, I have Scandinavian roots there, including Norway, even though mostly Swedish, and also some Finnish, according to all the genetic tests I've taken. So yeah, and I can't wait to see what she does next. We're all waiting so dearly to get her new album, and it's just see what she's going on next. Now, I know she did top modeling with Heidi Klum, and I haven't heard that. I'm not a really TV watcher myself. I just watch YouTube, but I can't wait to see what she's going to do. And I think that she's going to really shock people. I tell my students all the time about Angelina Jordan, and they're like, who's that? I don't know. But she's the real deal. And you guys know that. And I'm also going to do another video on jazz for you guys. So I actually did a conference and I did a slide deck about talking about jazz and jazz history and how it evolves. So eventually I'm going to try and figure out how I can film that, and you can look at my slide deck and then listen to all the jazz history that I have incorporated into that slide deck, and I'll try to do it on so you can see my face and I can talk to you guys about it, so you'll know a bit more about what the jazz history and the jazz forms and the jazz artists that have been a huge inspiration. And I really think it's important. I just need to figure out how to do it, and hopefully, and you can look forward to that. And my conference was actually called Jazz as American Baroque. And I know that was kind of academic. And it was really for voice teachers who really didn't understand jazz. So that's kind of how I named it, because just like Bach was the founder of really Western harmony. And what Bach did was basically set apart this huge library that inspired everybody from after that. And so jazz music is likewise where the jazz music that came to America, or the jazz artists started it, that music went into the contemporary music like rock, pop, hip hop, all those things, because it came from the same place and it just evolved. So that's why I call it Jazz as American Baroque. So you may look for that here. I'm hoping to get back and doing videos. I miss you guys so much, and I've just had so many things on my plate, and I still have more things on my plate, but I just really miss making videos. So hopefully I'll make more and not just have like 2 videos a month or something. So I'm trying. All right, so I'll see you next time, and thank you so much for everything. Okay, bye.